And coolest mashups of the moment. Now listening to the best music.
Black is beautiful, you're not teaching. Girls are thinking, in my kitchen, I'm a queen. Going to the back of DJ. You are guys are teasing. Competition, I take it up here. We have to be on the black on. Michael Jackson, bank account on. Spend my cash on, and her ass on. Competition, and I take it up here. We have to be on the black on. Nani black boys club, tumedunga maopena. Nyonginyo tuko moshi, swese telpani tuko seterese. Chezo resese, running shit ya limubutu resese. Switch bank with a champedas. Dani ring ni my head is in a dim.
You're now listening to the best music. 1 hour of the hottest tracks and coolest mashups of the moment.
Shukuhanyoka san kwa dondo. Nwezi hepa lugha yangu vile na roro. So nipe stand innovation vile na kapo. Nimedunga black na nyajiwa. Gena na black model na friend. Chupani black tags in that was swag. Asubuoka kibeti ya chalo. Swadi udebaka DJ. Tuya pangeza tine. Competition I check it up here. We have to be on the black on. Michael Jackson, bank account on. Spend my cash on, and her ass on. Competition and I take it back here. We have to be on the black on.
All day, every day.
You're my lady, you're the one. Who's your hero? Who's the guy? I'm the one, number one. Superhero, Superman. You're my lady, you're the one. Who's the hero? Who's the man? Young fella. Wanna take you superhero on a mission, yeah. Like a black looking like a billionaire. Get me down, we can get the bring up there. See now out, but that is see compare. Take you superhero on a mission, yeah. Like a black looking like a billionaire. Get me down, we can get the bring up there.
Welcome to Let's Go with Earwords, and that's the energy we're starting with on the Black Watch Fire Radio. Now we're black on black, looking like a billionaire. That's what's up. Looking at me like they were saying something about, you know, I'm wearing black and I'm definitely in a G-Wagon. But welcome to the conversation here on Let's Fuck with Earwords, an amazing conversation. Always talking about redefining Africans as we redefine ourselves. My name is Iwuta Mongoria, and with the one and only
Mr. Sankara. Mr. Sankara in the building.
Come on.
Today is black on black on black on black on black on black.
Black on black on black on black on black.
Yeah.
Black on everything. Black cards, you know. Once you go black, you never go back, baby. Amazing conversations coming up. You like it?
Extremely.
Once you go black, you never go back.
Never go back.
Another conversation over here about owning our African identity. I'm so excited about this conversation. I've been talking about it, but now it's going to be better because we'll be talking more about it with the one and only Sankara, delving deeper about our historical, original, conversation about the originality of our civilization and everything that started in Africa, but we do have Black Naiboy featuring Yashinsky. As you download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements. Our clothing with the Black Hot Fire Radio logo on it, Ubuntu spirit. So order your supplement, order your hoodie, order your t-shirt, order your ashwagandha. But join us right away on YouTube, featured Rambo, as you follow us on other social media platforms. Download our app, subscribe on the YouTube channel, because we're here to educate, empower, inspire, and to actually go on that part of relearning and learning about our African identity. But I'm sending you so much love and light. Happy new month! May it be full of surprises, but nothing but love.
There's a will, there's a way, niggas in Jando. Shukuhanyoka san kwa dondo. Nwezi hepa lugha yangu vile na roro. So nipe stand innovation vile na kapo. Nimedunga black na nyajiwa. Gena black model na friend. Chupani black tags in that was swag. Asubuoka kibeti ya chalo. Swadi udebaka DJ. Ongeza tine competition haicheki kwa kioo. Mambo yake pia ni black on Michael Jackson, bank account on, spend my cash on, and her ass on. Competition haicheki kwa kioo. Mambo yake pia ni black on, na ni black on. I'm the one, number one, superhero, Superman. You're my lady.
You're now listening to the best music.
Like a billionaire, get me now, we can get a free up there. Sing out for Dallas, going to the back of DJ. We are bangers at TV. Competition like Jackie Kakio. We have to pay the black on, Michael Jackson, bank account on, spend my cash on, and her ass on. Competition like Jackie Kakio. We have to pay the black on, the black on.
1 hour of the hottest tracks and coolest mashups of the moment. You're now listening to the best music.
Come on, I'm excited for this month. I don't know about you. Good energy, good people, good music, good September, baby. My name is Iwito Mongoria, and we do have the one and only
Sankara in the building.
Let's Pop with Iwito. That's the show, the name of my show. Let's Pop. So you gotta have some energy on my show.
Yeah, energy.
Yes.
Vibes and vibes and vibes and vibes. Hapa na pale.
Come on.
Huku na kule.
Come on.
Hivi na hivo.
Uh-huh.
Vile na vile. Kando na kando. Whatever they say, the politicians or whatever they say. But it's a good. I'm actually. It's really fascinating because whatever the past few hours of past few days I've been learning about the creative process of one of the greatest inspirations to music that has ever graced this planet. And it's actually a crazy coincidence that the topic of today is embracing our African identity. And I believe this is a topic that will require like more time goes. Then we can start with the, how they have destroyed or how they made people not feel confident in their identity culture, and then you dig back to how it started all the way to the roots and everything, and even the sprouting of Africans. But as we start with where we are right now currently, it's sad that a black man will have to undergo a lot of work and a lot of painful procedures to look like someone else. As much as there is a medical reason behind it, I do believe also the medical reason was the cover and like a reason to continue pushing it, rather than it being the reason why he would rather remain black. But at the end of the day, I still understand his point of view, because you can't have a white man's skin with a black man's features. So with the plastic surgery and the chin enhancement, I think he ought to have done that because he couldn't be white with a black man's features. So he had to make sure he had white man's features with the white man's skin color, because he did have a skin condition called vitiligo.
Are we talking about Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Okay.
And he did have a condition called vitiligo, which is a problem with the pigmentation whereby your melanin it disappears or dissolves. I can't remember the correct term, but if you're black, you have a white patch. The melanin on your skin becomes deactivated.
I know that.
So, but if you look at the medical part, you'll be like, okay, I do see the reason medically behind what he's doing. But if I go further and look at the bigger picture, he would hang out with white people a lot. If you look at his circle,
even before the surgery,
even before being black, he was hanging. His circle was full of white people a lot. And as a black person, I'm going to feel a bit cagey and I'm going to feel a bit judgy and I'm going to be cocky to that situation.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask and become nosy and ask you a few questions like, okay, we get it, but why are you hanging around so many white people? It's very easy for you to lose your identity, and that glorified the culture of Africans getting rid of their melanated skin.
Right.
The bleaching industry has, everyone is bleaching, everyone has bleach,
Yeah.
everyone is lightening their skin, everyone is going for straight hair, nobody wants curly hair no more,
Right.
nobody wants the dark color anymore. And I'm like, if you look at even the features and genetically, naturally, a black person looks amazing. Imagine
Oh my gosh,
everyone is
goddess.
rushing, everyone on the planet, everyone without straight hair, everyone with straight hair, like the maziwa hair, white people hair, they always wish they have curly hair like Africans.
Yeah.
Because the kind of versatility that type of hair has, you
yes.
can get very many styles. You can even straighten, you can
Right?
even straighten
Yes.
it and get that same straight maziwa type of hair.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can still make it into a board, you can still make it into afro.
Yeah.
You can do a lot with it. And
I know, right?
they want you to be
You can
ashamed
play
of
that
it.
hair without it
Yes.
falling off like after 2 hours
Yes.
or 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
But it goes back to the conversation. It's a whole agenda to
yes,
scrape off everything to do with African
and African pride.
African identity, African culture. It's like they don't want anything to look like us, because I think also it actually reminds them of who you're not.
They started
In a way, it makes them like, you know what? I don't want anything to remind us of what we scraped off from, because they took everything away from us.
Yes, they did.
Our history, who we are as a people,
Our books,
because now a lot of people look up to them for things which they shouldn't look up to, because you should look within yourself, and everything that they've tried to actually downgrade is what defines us, and that's our power.
Well, they started with labeling the devil black and angels white,
100%.
and that is how they first succeeded with the mission. And unto thee, the African person, because some statistics were showing that the biggest market for Mercedes is Africa.
Okay.
And I did have very many questions.
Let's talk about those
Very
questions.
many things.
Well, let's answer those questions.
Ask yourselves
Questions.
what happened, and anything that tries to emerge out of African pride, one way or another, it must find a way to collapse. And I'm gonna use the motor vehicle industry.
Okay.
Everyone is driving an outside machine. Everyone is driving a Japanese product or European product or American vehicle companies. In Africa, even in Kenya, I believe Kenyan-inspired vehicles, mobiles, are less than 1% of the population of vehicles, or the number of vehicles that we drive on these roads.
Yeah.
And you look at a company like Mobi as a Kenyan company, electric vehicles and an SUV, and the company has been closed because of financial issues. And it saddens me that we take pride in consumption of other people's products. Everyone wants to wear Gucci Prada.
Right.
Those are not your products. They have nothing to do with your culture. Everyone wants to be proud of wearing Gucci. Everyone wants to have a European style house. And you look at yourself in the mirror, it doesn't reflect who you are and the things that are around you and your environment, considering the environment is a factor that produces you as a person.
100%.
as us in Africa, in our African environment, there's some few things in our culture that we ought to keep on continuing, but the Tamaya being like Europeans is disrupting that.
100%.
We no longer take pride in our clothes, and everyone is a fucking hypocrite, because I would rather go get Mtush, which is cheaper, and this is dumped clothes from the from Europe, from whatever they come from, rather than me going to get that kitenge. But then I will question and say that you didn't give me good motivation to abandon this Mtush and come for your product, which is extremely African.
Okay.
And I'll use this analogy with the current football championships that had just happened. Before, people didn't wear the Harambee Stars jersey a lot until they were given a reason to wear it.
I wanted to say the same thing.
So everybody now has taken pride in the Harambee Stars jersey, and they have taken pride in the team, in the national team. So if this is a challenge to us, rather, if you were able to have people who can think and design us clothes that are going to be the next replacement of brands like Dolce & Gabbana, they're going to inspire us to wear their clothes. So me, for example, that is there's this we have a designer who has taken African Ankara design and has made it modern in a way that it doesn't feel like Nico from Kitambo, and that's why people are afraid and people don't have that urgency to wear African clothes, because it gives that notion of like ushamba, or to modern.
But that's the point of why there was colonization.
Yes,
that's the point where everything to do with an African is seen as meaningless.
Yes,
because we've been actually downgraded all over the world, and also they have painted this, right? But also looking at it from a deeper perspective, you realize it comes from an inferiority complex from their end, because they know, like, everything that they know, everything that they wear, everything that they're living off is from Africa. Without Africa, there's no Europe, there's no United States of America, there's no Asia. Nothing is working for them. And that's why we talked about there has to be constant wars in Africa, because if there's peace, they're not going to do well, right? It means we're thriving. It means we're getting stuff in strategy, right? But also, it's the propaganda that has been preached all over the years in the media, in the mainstream media, in magazines, everywhere you turn. Everything that has to do with black people has been painted black. Everything to do with the African culture has been painted as not good enough. Thank you, which is a lie. Because when you look deeper, everything they're actually living off is from the African culture. It's from the African identity. So we have to actually go back and learn and relearn about who we are, and actually think about oh my God, it has all been a lie. We should be super proud of our cultures, of our African wears, of our wearing our hair out loud, because hey, I am connected to nature. I am a piece of nature, because when I put an afro, I look like a goddamn tree, which is so beautiful.
Yes, and they can never achieve that.
Yeah.
And the first leakage of this inferiority complex, where they come and tell you your shit is bad, and at the end of the day, it's the same knowledge that they're using in their day-to-day lives. There are stories told of a doctor in the villages of Chitui that he had special abilities to do surgery without sterilization and without the medical equipment. And doctors will travel all the way from Europe, Asia, China, come and learn some techniques, even with all the digitalized sterilization and equipment. They weren't able to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they flew to this backward person to learn from him, and they are now learning techniques from the guy. And it's crazy because you know the same thing that they use against us is the same weapon that is gonna go against them. So
Right.
people are gonna go to a place and we're gonna go to a generation or civilization whereby people are going to want to replace the current conformities that have been placed. If we have to have if we are to have artists and designers who will sit down and tell us, okay, this is an Ankara design. Yes, designing it this way might look backward. What if we find a modern way of using the same art in a way that it now reflects a new generation? And something about culture is that it's always subject to change. We can become ancestors to a different culture now, like they say our ancestors used to wear
Yeah.
ABCD, XYZ. We can become ancestors also whereby we have, yes, the African design, but we wore it in a ABCD or in a way, XYZ way that it's modern to us.
Yeah.
But for the people who are gonna be ahead of us for years to come, they're gonna say it's still backward or you're kitambo, because they are going to have evolved.
I don't think so.
As culture is subject to change. Culture can never be stagnant. There's always ways that
Maybe
it sheds.
In terms of education, in terms of education, I actually beg to differ because it's constant in terms of education.
Okay.
But if it's progressive in terms of how we live, ways of communication, because back in the days we used to have before horns, and then also we came and actually invented telephones, name it, with time. Yeah, all the way to Africa, and all the way to, like, to the rest of the world.
For education, let me challenge that POV and say that even the education that was being taught back then is not the same education we're being taught right now. Because back then the education was more hands-on skills, kazi ya mkono. This is how we tie shoes.
That's what I'm talking about.
But now
That's
we've
what I'm
been taught
saying.
formulas.
In terms of education, from the African culture, it's constant. From the African culture, it's constant. Not from where it is right now, like we're actually learning. The system of education is not our system of education. Before colonization, it has been constant. And also, right now, if you're educating people, this is education. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that in terms of education, it should be constant. It has been constant because when we're communicating about, we are all the originators of all civilization. Talk about medicine, who built the pyramids, chemistry, all that. It has been constant, and also it has been eroded.
And it's funny that they preach Africans have always been backward, yet the greatest civilizations to have ever existed and the most mysterious civilizations to have ever existed on the planet are Africans. Look at the Egyptian civilization back in the day. Up to now, they're still investigating tombs.
Right.
They haven't figured out the technology that they used to build the pyramids.
Right?
There's speculation aliens did it. There's speculation that
We did it, guys.
and then there's engineering where they used water. It's a bit complex because if you put water in a big a stone in big water, it floats. So that's how they were able to lift the stones. That's how they were able to do it with water. And I don't know how they did it, but they are not going to tell you that those were Africans.
100%.
And they're not going to tell you that Africans are smart because they know everything. They know how they have learned it in Africa.
Because who else will do it?
Timbuktu.
It's in Africa.
The first
honey,
university
what do you mean,
on
right?
the planet.
Yes.
Timbuktu.
Like it's in Africa.
With the Pythagoras guy coming to Timbuktu to study, and that's after
That's
his
what
studies
they
in
did.
Timbuktu
Yeah.
is where he came up with the Pythagoras theorem. The
Makes
Greeks and all the knowledge in Timbuktu, hapa Africa. But then you're gonna be told, this one is one who discovered this one discovered that, but technically they're not the discoveries.
Yeah.
And someone was actually challenging a notion online the other day, and they were asking, how do they come to our land and say, I have discovered a lake let me call it Lake
always
Victoria.
talk about that.
Yet we've
Yeah.
been living in this land. We know this lake better than you.
I believe there are original names for those lakes.
We are the
Yeah.
discoverers of the lakes. 'Cause
100%.
we are the ones who have been living in the land that is carrying the lakes. So you can't come tell me, no, from now henceforth this lake is going to be called Lake Victoria.
It has never made sense to me.
It's
Ever.
the same analogy is I come to your house and then I tell you, now this bedroom is mine,
Yes.
the master bedroom. You don't even know me. I've already shot your father.
Yeah.
I've already killed your brothers.
Yeah.
I've already left you and your mother. Actually, now the bedroom is mine. And that God you're worshipping is a demon. At least I will look at this other God. I will abandon your ways now and do my ways.
Right.
And then when we teach you education, we say you standing up for yourself is a rebellion.
Look at that.
That is where they are able to succeed.
Why do people say that? And also, it has become part of our day-to-day reality on our own.
It's
When
heavy.
someone stands up for themselves, they're being rebellious or
it's-
they're being difficult.
yes, and
But
they're
I'm just
being-
asking a question, or I'm just standing up for myself. I shouldn't stand up for myself.
it's a label they use to villainize everybody.
Yeah, like
and
he's difficult. What do you mean? I'm just standing up for myself, and I'm asking the right question.
yes, and they're scared of people who ask the right questions.
Because as the colonized mind, because we were talking about this in the morning, we do have that mentality with our own African brothers and sisters, as they're actually downgrading their own brothers and sisters, their fellow men, their fellow sisters.
Divide and conquer was the greatest weapon they ever
Oh my
used.
gosh.
And use of boundaries and lines, imaginary lines. That is the actual Oxford Dictionary
Imaginary
explanation of
lines.
a boundary.
Oh my
These
gosh.
are imaginary lines.
It's a fact, though.
It sounds stupid in the
It is a
definition, but
fact.
it tells you the kind of manipulation.
Mm.
These are imaginary lines. So these are lines, if we no longer go with them, they won't affect us because they are imaginary.
Because you need this kind of documentation from here to here. You
That's-
can't move from here to here without this kind of documentation.
And that's how they're able to do the divide and conquer.
And we followed it.
And it should be easier for me to walk to Nigeria without
Yeah.
paying a single cent.
100%.
And people who championed for that, they were butchered. I'm not going to say
that
killed.
happens, yeah.
They were butchered. That is not killing. Killing, you kill a chicken. They butchered the guy. They dragged him on the streets and they called him a terrorist. Mr. Osama Obama did that. And Gaddafi, I believe, at the time is going to be vindicated. And his death in Africa is going to be a vindication. Is going to be vindicated. And I believe that the more we continue living, the more people continue seeing, and the more people see, the more they're gonna have the veils fall off their eyes. And once the veil falls off their eyes,
Yeah.
they're going to, oh my God, you can't even describe it.
But also, the more we have this conversation, from my perspective, subconsciously,
Yes.
as Africans, we're uniting.
Yes.
So the more we have this conversation, you may feel like, oh, it doesn't really matter. But it's a subliminal message. Like it's happening in the African community. We are reviving again. We are coming back to our true selves and power. And we can see right now, I see a lot of, I can say Kenyans, owning their identity. A lot of women, they are wearing their hair out, doing braids, owning they're going back to their African culture, wearing beads, you know, all these like leg beads, waist beads. I'm seeing that a lot. They're going back to meditation and spirituality. Like everywhere you go online, you see like an African goddess just, you know, being in their element, and it's so beautiful. It's that time. It's actually everywhere right now, and I like that pride and that confidence that Africans are starting to actually take, because we didn't have that a long time ago. I want to play this video for Dr. Arika Najimaburi, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. She's talking about colonization, white Jesus, versus the black devil, miseducation of the African community.
These situations. But when it comes to black men, they don't think they should de-escalate the situation. I remember that Ruth guy who massacred those 8-9 people at the church in South Carolina. The police, when they captured him, they took him to McDonald's to have a hamburger. You know, this is somebody who just murdered in cold blood 9 people, and they took him to McDonald's. It is just unbelievable to say, what kind of human beings are these? You know, this morning I just found myself wondering. You know, I came to this country because of the profound impact my Peace Corps teachers had on me, and these were white Americans. I chose to come to the United States because of the profound effect they had on me, because of the way they were respectful. They were teachers who wanted to invite you to their houses for afternoon tea. In Rhodesia, that didn't used to happen, but the white Americans did that. These were white Americans who wanted to go to your village with you. They wanted to lie on a mud floor with you and get up in the morning, go fetch wildfire.
Let's not get it twisted. This is what they showed her. She's gonna give her experience right away, because we understand sometimes if we have a lot of foreigners with different agendas, they'll come and try and fit into your world. They'll sleep on the floor, they'll go fetch water, they'll make you feel like they are actually one of you, or that they're a part of whatever community or culture that you do have.
I wouldn't go fetch water. They would eat from the same bowl with you. Those are the Americans, the white Americans I came to see in this country. Where are they? Where are they, my son? What happened to them? Do they still exist? You know, I am just appalled to say, who are these police officers? Where did they grow up? What happened to the America that I came here for?
Well, good question, and it makes me wonder, is that an illusion? Was it an illusion that we had, that perhaps, because I too came here with this image that in the United States, the land of the free, when we're in Africa, we have this impression that racism ended at the turn of the passing of the Civil Rights Law, right? When Dr. Martin Luther King marched and the Civil Rights Bill was passed, I fully had the impression before I came to this country that racism had ended then, civil rights had begun, and oftentimes it's true when you encounter white Americans in Africa, from the Peace Corps and other organizations, they come and you get this feeling that this is a very different kind of person that you encounter when you're in Africa than the reality of being black here. But then once I've gotten here and kind of seen how it is oftentimes for anybody that looks like us, African Americans, Africans, Caribbeans, here in America, it does make you wonder whether this is a system that really sees us as fully human.
Absolutely not. I mean, when you look at it from I can't help but keep going back to just the atrocities committed by the colonizers on the continent, the atrocities committed by the slavers when they took Africans as slaves from Africa across the Atlantic, the abuse that has been meted to black people in Europe, meted to black people in the Americas, and sometimes even meted to us Africans on the continent.
So I actually have a theory. I'm glad that was a good segue. And my theory about why the African was colonized is a socio-economic economic theory around the fact that I do believe that it is an economic thing. I do believe that the reason that the African is so welcoming to outsiders, because I do truly believe that the African is very welcoming to outsiders, is because in Africa, given that all year round the seasons allow for food to grow all year round, the African has never really had to plan ahead in terms of foraging for food was always available. Food was always available. So the African always had food all year round, whereas the European had to store food because of the winter. So my theory around the colonization of Africa is because Europeans needed to expand in order to find lands that could provide for them more than their own lands did. The African, on the other hand, is very welcoming because the African always has food. So I do believe that sociologically,
definitely makes sense, like 100%, right? Obviously, it was because of the social economic sector part of it. Land, Africa has always been a land of abundance, as is actually explained further. We've never needed to plan ahead in terms of what are we gonna eat in everything. We've always had more than enough.
Well, and I believe that was the fuel of Ubuntu, because if we had a lot of food, that means we didn't have the meanness, the stinginess of not sharing with the neighbors.
Yes.
It's actually very many cultures you'd rather give someone food rather than money. So it being an African thing to be welcoming became our worst nightmare, because we welcomed the demon, and it's so sad because when they did that, they made sure that economically they have crippled us, because they came and told us their way of trade is wrong. They don't do it. All our gold was taken to their reserves, and they converted our gold to cash.
100%.
And they became the custodians of the cash.
In Europe, there's this building there's a bank of gold.
It's and their train
Where's that?
stations.
Yeah.
Their train
So
stations
crazy.
in Germany, Belgium, they're filled with golden statues, golden monuments.
And where are they getting the gold from? Africa, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it can't last forever.
I agree with you.
That nonsense can't last forever. One way or another, the power of yin yang will have to work, because we need to have a state of balance at the end of the day. And I believe we are among the pioneers, or the people in a generation who are going to be the forefathers, or like the seers of a generation or a time where it's a black colony, whereby it's an African appreciated society, and it's an African led society, and it's a society where Africa is the seer of what is the director of the world, and what the world, in the direction the world is going to move to.
It is also, I'm sorry to cut you off. It brings us to the perspective we also need a lot of conscious leaders. We need a lot of Ibrahim Traore.
Conscious leaders in Africa is a big problem, and it's not going to take 5, 10, 15 years to solve that. It's going to take a lot of time, effort, because if one country gets that conscious leader, the other 53 have corrupt idiots who will be corrupted to sideline this one. That is how they
But
were
you do have that one country right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the same happiness.
And a lot of countries are joining the Sahel. The party, they're joining the Sahel.
Yes.
Yeah, in a lot of different sectors to collaborate with.
And this is the same excitement Africa had during Gaddafi's time. And
It doesn't have to repeat itself. You can't think like that.
and it's still happening to one country or one leader as much as the other leaders helping or showing support. I believe to have to have an Africa where the conscious leaders are not just 1, 2, or 3 in the whole country. Or
But at least we have one.
It will take a lot of effort and time.
And I have faith it's happening. For me, I believe we do have those leaders. They're somewhere.
And the time I'll start,
Yeah.
personally, I'll start becoming hopeful is if there are more than 10 Ibrahim Traores in Africa.
Actually,
that is
he's
the
doing
period.
better than everything because you know what? He's reviving the African spirit.
And that is the
All
time
over
I'll be
social media,
hopeful.
yeah, Africans all over diasporans, they have this urge, and people are talking about let's get united. That's a start. It has been a start. And right now, comparing it to the time you're talking about that guy, that president, because I also have some ideas about him, but we're going to talk more about that later. Right now, people are woke. Right now, people are fearless. It's different. So much different right now in terms of also technology. People are going back and reviving everything in your face. So you cannot say that you're miseducated or you don't know what's happening. At least when you hear something, go and do your research about what's really happening, about the African identity, about the fact that Africa is the cradle of life, and everything that was hidden, eroded, and taken away from us. A time is coming, regardless of how many years, nature will always go back
Yeah.
to its natural state.
Natural state.
Yeah, and I believe right now we're in that momentum. It's a momentum, yes.
And I believe the children of our children and their children are going to be the benefactors, and are the ones who are going to see better, and the ones who are going to have a better experience. Because we as the current generation, we are part of the pioneer group still. I believe we haven't reached to the point or to a momentum where we can say we're headed there.
But we are here
But
actually. And
we're
it's a
headed in
good thing.
We're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a very good
And,
thing. It's a very powerful thing.
It's not yet speedy as it would rather be, or as strong as it would rather be, and
But
that's
you
why
know,
I would say,
the good thing is that you feel excited about.
yeah.
We are there. We are there. That's a good thing to celebrate and like being excited about.
The day that I believe we are there is the day that at least one African president is going to be beheaded by fellow Africans, like they did with Mussolini in Italy. That is the day I believe.
That's
the
from your
charge.
perspective.
You know,
Yeah.
where there are changes that don't come softly. You know,
It's a fact.
there's a change
And also you have to be a
that
part of
doesn't,
it.
and there's a change that also doesn't come subtly. Not only
Yes.
not only does it come softly, it should not come softly and subtly.
I agree
There's
with
some
you.
for the kind of change Africa
I agree.
needs.
Yeah.
And the depth that and the abyss
Yeah.
that Africa fell to.
Yeah.
The momentum is peaking, but it's not at its peak.
But we
The
are
time
there.
We are headed there. Not yet. The light and the tunnel bado kidogo, because I believe the time that we will have charged up to the point where we know now it's now or never. It's a point where we see similar protests to the Black Lives Matter during the 2020 George Floyd protests, and it's being in a similar scale whereby every African country is demonstrating at the same time
That'll happen.
against their government.
Yeah. But you cannot wait for that, for you to be like, oh, it's not working now. No, it's happening.
The
fact
momentum is
that
headed
we're
there.
in it. So you cannot say the time I'll believe. It means you don't even believe in it. Right now, just like the time I'll believe it, like you don't believe in it. People are in the momentum, literally. And the way it happened the other time, it can happen anytime. The other time, it was no plan. Nobody saw what's coming. It just happened.
The French Revolution.
It just happened. Even last year in Kenya, nobody saw it coming. It just happened. People are waking up, and it's a good thing for me when I'm talking with somebody, and they're like, I'm like, oh my God, you know about that? Because you think like maybe not everybody knows about this. It's amazing when I'm talking to somebody and they talk about the African culture.
Yes.
They talk about, colonization, everything before colonization, and how we should definitely take back our power. it makes me so excited, because we are there, because the most important factor, first of all, is the education, the true education that was stripped away from us, knowing about our identity, knowing about our culture, knowing about our true power, knowing about our land, you know, and knowing, mostly important, about our spirituality. Before we wind up, we have 6 minutes. I want to play this video again.
That all the African men of state should be streaming to the United States. You too must come to Africa. But are we even demanding that? I'm getting a lot of grief sometimes when I talk about an Africa with a single military, an Africa with the one central bank, one monetary policy, one currency, an Africa that had one trade union. Fast forward, 62 years later, going on 63, those wishes are yet to be realized. 2025, of the pillars of development that were discussed by our founding fathers in 1963, we've only been able to accomplish only one: the creation of the ECFA. Why is it that it has taken us this long to deliver on the wishes of our Pan-African fathers? The question goes even further. Why is it that even the most obvious things that we could do from the African Union level, for example, saying no visas for an African to travel around Africa, something so simple, the leaders could just go back to their parliaments and get it approved. To this day, we have not been able to do that. A friend of mine, one of the commissioners, once showed me a beautiful photograph. There were women on one side selling their tomatoes and their wares. There was what looked like a road, and there were other women on the other side. I said, "Ambassador, what do you see in this picture?" I said, "I see women doing their thing." He said, "Yes, Ambassador, women are doing their thing. But guess what happens? When the women on this side of the road run out of tomatoes, but the women on the other side still have tomatoes, the citizens of this side cannot cross over to buy the tomatoes on the other side because they need a visa." This is how ridiculous and insane the things that we do. We can take it even further. Let's go into our parliaments. Education, we have all been talking about the miseducation of the African. How tall is the mountain that we must climb to make this noise and speak this language and tell our leadership that we have been miseducated? Our curriculum has got to change. We need a more Pan-African curriculum. How long is it going to take us to change the curriculum?
Yeah.
We talk about the institutions that were created after the European tribal wars in 1945. Institutions like United Nations, World Bank, IMF, World Trade Organization, World Health Organization. Institutions that must be dismantled, institutions we have no business belonging in, and yet like fools, we follow their lead. Institutions that to this day as we speak, many African countries are spending over 50% of their GDP on loan repayment.
Yeah.
And yet our ministers, twice a year, they go to Washington to attend the World Bank meetings, to be told how to run their currencies, how to devalue their currencies,
how to engage in policies that are detrimental to their own development, and they say, yes, master. They don't challenge them. They don't say, no, no, no. These loans have been paid a gazillion times over. We are not paying them anymore. Our sister yesterday, Sister Dr. Obi, told us about a loan of $4 billion by Nigeria in 1974. To date, Nigeria has paid over 50 billion and they still owe. How long are we going to wake up? We talk about our ministers of culture. We have artifacts that were stolen, looted out of Africa, and they're all over Europe. And we Africans, we go to Europe and we stand in line to pay and look at that which belongs to us. And none of them is demanding.
Oh my God, we're almost finding out, family, but this will definitely be a banger. We'll definitely continue this on Friday, but let's talk about this shortly before we wind up.
Well, if I was to be given a similar platform, I would have said exactly what
The same thing. Yeah, she said it all.
And I believe she's very prophetic even in her words. And
She is actually.
And people like her and more of her are needed to get us to the Africa that she envisions, and the Africa that she envisions is an Africa that I envision. It's an Africa that is united.
Yes.
Under one leadership. We should use the same things they use against us. Because if you look at the European countries, they have trade unions. The European Union, they have their currency that they issue. The euro, it's used in different European countries. Look at the dollar and its ability to be used in some different countries outside America.
Yeah.
And if I can go to Tanzania and I have to convert my Kenyan shillings to Tanzanian shillings, and I haven't left the continent, then I'm wasting time. And the Europeans saw that, and that's why they made the euro.
For sure.
And they gave them a common currency. And she's talked about Africa under one military view, and that is one thing they're scared of.
We do need that.
And
We
they're
need our
scared
own
of.
military, honestly.
Imagine Africa as a continent having one military.
Oh my gosh.
They are technically okay.
We're just like we're here now. We're ready for anything.
And they know that.
We should be prepared on that sector, because
Especially with the numbers.
right, the rest of the world, they have like amazing weaponry,
Yes.
missiles. Like they're ready for anything.
Yes.
But in
Still
Africa,
have
honey,
our sticks and stones.
yo, we gotta work on something.
Well,
You know, but we're winding up.
yes.
That's Dr. Ari kind of talking about the fact that also we talked about this before. She said it.
Yeah.
Miseducation.
Miseducation. Yes.
We should have more Pan-African.
Curriculum.
Thank you.
Yes. Curriculums
That's
that
true education.
No longer teach us technicalities, but
Yeah.
teach us reality.
For sure.
Yes.
So family, that has been our conversation. Owning our African identity, and I'm so excited. For me, I'm very hopeful that we're getting there in momentum, but we're getting there. People are on the same level subliminally on their minds that it's a good thing. The fact that we're talking about this right now, it means we're headed somewhere. Your last take on the viewers, the listeners that are listening right now.
Black is beautiful. Black and African. I mean, wow. What a continent. What a beauty.
What a beauty.
What a beauty.
Your name, tell them your name.
Yeah,
everything
so
as we're winding up.
the show has been amazing,
Okay.
and we definitely have to speak more about this.
We do.
And it's been Sankara in the building. This is the guy who likes looking at encyclopedias when others look at porn and Playboy.
Come
But
on.
anyway, it's not a bragging point, but if you have a very difficult question, pose it down below. And we like the difficult things. We don't like
Alright.
the easy things.
Come on.
And Africa is just a beauty, I believe. She's just a beauty.
All right. Thank you so much, Sankara.
Kisses to Africa.
Come on.
Yeah.
Motherland.
Motherland.
Thank you for always availing yourself. Always have amazing, deep conversation.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome anytime.
Appreciate you guys having me.
I always learn a lot, as I said. And thank you for everybody who are listening and joining us, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Iriton Longoria. Today's conversation, owning our African identity. I hope you're doing that on your end. Remember to download our app on the Google Play Store. Stream on www.blackoutfirenetwork.com for the amazing healthy supplement, apparel clothing with the Black Watch Fire Radio logo on it. Remember also, you can get yourself some supplements, ashwagandha, beetroot, multivitamin, brain focus, and lastly for the ladies, our cold cucumber soap and the shea butter. I'm telling you, if you're using the shea butter for your hair, I'm telling you, 1 week you'll see a difference. I'm telling you, we are nature as Africans. So if you use anything that is connected to nature, it actually works, makes you better. So get yourself some ashwagandha before I wind up. Let's listen into the health and benefit of ashwagandha, the one I'm actually talking about right now.
Discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
For $23.90. Happy September! May it be full of peace, ease, stability, surprises, and some good and beautiful things. I'm sending you so much love and light. See you on the next show. Remember, you are the change you need to see in the world. Take care. Bye.
Greetings and salutations. Feel the freshness. Reaching out to our brothers and sisters on the African continent. You're tuning into Black Hot Fire Radio.
You're now listening to the best music hour of the hottest tracks and coolest mashups of the moment.
But you wish you pray. I want you speaking in tongues, that's why they call me the slave. I want you singing like hymns, had you made a little call. I need a flex for a minute, I need to know it does. Yeah, I do behave, always do what I say. These niggas is fools, these bitches is crazy. Now your bitch going crazy. These bitches trying to sex me, these bitches trying to hex me. I'm feeling shaky, get up. Bitch, I'm a break, get up, but you're not gonna trust me.